my god, oh my god, oh my god, it happened! New Donkey Kong! After 10 fucking years, 11 years, it finally happened! Oh my god, I can't believe it. It looks so good. It's 3D and it's made by the Odyssey team, and it's got a fucking like action combat, and it's Oh, hi everybody, Colonel Crank here. Yeah, the Switch-2 Direct happened today, and you could say that I'm a little excited. You could say that I am a little... I'm just gonna drop the pretense. There's a new 3D fucking Donkey Kong. This is worth it already in my book. I don't give a shit about anything else that happened in this show. A new 3D Donkey Kong. Not only that, but it's from the same devs who made Mario Odyssey, and it's got like this cool like action focus where Donkey Kong's like beating the shit out of people and rolling around like he does in the country games, and there's like a whole army of evil Kongs you've got to fight, and it's like, oh, it looks so good. It looks so fucking good. I can't wait to play it. This game looks so fucking good, and I've been waiting 11 years for this. Oh god, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't form thoughts. I'm just too excited. My brain is abuzz with this game and how much I fucking want it. Like this and Metroid Prime 4. It's a lock for this year. Like it's already one of the best years in gaming just for those two games alone. Metroid Prime 4 and a new 3D Donkey Kong. I can't wait. But I need to calm down. I need to contain myself. There's more in the direct. So yeah, besides Donkey Kong, the Switch-2 Direct happened. It was really good. Oh god. There's so much in here, and there's so much that is just like both like good and kind of weird. That are not weird. There's like some stuff that I really have to talk about, but like, man, I'm just so excited. I don't know where to start. I'm so fucking just hyped after this show. This was one of the best fucking directs ever. Now more than ever, I need to get my hands on the Switch 2. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I don't know how I'm gonna beat out the scalpers. I just gotta find a way. I gotta do it. I need it. I need it so badly. But let's start at the beginning. New Mario Kart. Mario Kart World, or basically, you know, Mario Forza. So the idea with this game is way more racers than before, and all the tracks are going to be interconnected. So instead of just, hey, beat Mario Circuit, then move on to Bowser's Castle, then move on to this track, it's all going to be interconnected. It seems like all four tracks are going to be interconnected as like one big line of tracks that you go through, and there'll be like an elimination mode where if you're not in a certain place by the time you finish that track, you get eliminated from the race. And you can also go off-road and explore more areas. It looks really cool. Not to mention there seems to be alternate costumes. Admittedly, this I wasn't entirely sure from the trailer. It seemed as if the costumes were maybe dependent on the stage itself rather than just letting you swap in between the costumes, and I kind of hope that's not true, because I would just like to be able to pick a costume and then just play with that the entire race. But at the same time, seeing the wonder effect and transforming costumes mid-race was also kind of cool. I just hope that's not the only way to transform costumes, and I hope that you can also just pick a costume and stick with it throughout the race if you so please. But Mario Kart World looks like it's insane. It is like the next evolution of Mario Kart, and it is a connected world for Mario Kart. The only problem is that this game seems to be $80, and I'm gonna be real with you, I don't know if I want to pay $80 for a Mario Kart. I mean, I probably will, or what I'll try to do is, if I can, I'll find that bundle that's $500. So 500, the console's $450, so that's like $50 for Mario Kart. I'll try to do that, but like, man, $80 for a new Mario Kart is a lot, and I don't like setting the precedent of making AAA games $80. I understand the economy's kind of not great right now, and extenuating factors mean that's probably only going to get worse, but I don't know, like, this does not feel like the time to start charging more for games, especially for such a big title like Mario Kart that you know everybody is going to want, and that I do feel that price tag is going to turn some people off, especially when like 20 million something people already own Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There's a good chance there's a lot of people who are just going to stick with Mario Kart 8. Again, I don't want to do that. I want to get Mario Kart World because I think it looks fucking cool. I think it looks like a really I think it looks like a great next step from Mario Kart 8, but a lot of people are going to be like, well, if I just want my Mario Kart fix, I can already play that on the Switch 2. I can just get a Switch 2 and stick with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So I'm not sure how I feel about the strategy of charging $80 for Mario Kart World. We'll have to see where that goes, but honestly, that feels like Nintendo might be shooting themselves in the foot a little bit. So I'm not entirely sure if they should go that route or not. But hey, we'll see how that sells, and I'm sure it'll sell well anyways because it is Mario Kart. But I just think that charging that much for a game like this is is a little stingy, and I don't think Nintendo needs to do it, honestly. But for what it's worth, it still looks great. I love that you can also like you can have different vehicles. So you can have ski mobiles and planes and boats, and again, it really reminds me of Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed. If you ever played that game back in the 360 era, that was still one of the best, like still probably the best Sonic racing game. And so I don't mind the idea that Nintendo is just taking some ideas for that for Mario Kart World. And honestly, I think that's what's kind of interesting about World is that none of it feels particularly like revolutionary. Again, it feels a little bit like Sonic All-Stars. It feels a little bit like Forza Horizon. It feels a little bit like Burnout Paradise. It feels like a lot like a lot of other games. But bringing all of those elements together and applying it to Mario Kart just makes it really fascinating. And I love to see how Nintendo devs tackled that idea and put that into a series like Mario Kart that was just a little more wacky. It's a little more like, kind of free form and loose. Let's see what else was there. I'm kind of going out of order here, and I'm not going to go over everything because this show was an hour. And a lot of it was just, hey, here are some games coming to Switch. So Borderlands 4 is coming, Hades 2 is coming, which is surprising to me because that game's not even in 1.0 yet. And I played Hades 2. It's fucking fantastic, but I'm just surprised that Nintendo wouldn't wait for the 1.0 version. Unless that's like, maybe that will come this year with the Switch 2 port. I kind of hope it does because I can't wait to see what they're going to add next to that game because it's so good and I just want to see where it goes. But let's see, what else was there? Oh, speaking of racing games, we didn't get any gameplay of it, but we did get a new teaser for Kirby's Air Rides. They're going to do a second Kirby Air Ride from the GameCube era, which makes sense. We're at that 20-year nostalgia cycle. So people are now more than ever craving craving games from the GameCube era, and we'll get into that in a second. But this is also being developed by Masahiro Sakurai. Like, he's not doing a new Smash. Instead, he's doing a new Kirby Air Ride, which honestly has me really interested because I feel like if he didn't Smash, it'd be like, okay, that's cool, but I don't really see how you're going to top Ultimate, and it would have been kind of just boring for him to just do that again. So I'm glad he's taking some time to do a different project. And while we haven't seen any gameplay, I am looking forward to seeing like what this is going to be because I've never played the original Kirby Air Ride. So this will be a cool chance to experience kind of what that series is like and what made people fall in love with it so much. But this also, and what I'm going to talk about in a second, also lends credence to my idea that they're probably not going to do a new Smash this generation. They probably are going to do some sort of deluxe version for Smash Ultimate. And I say that because we also saw what quote unquote Switch-2 editions of various Switch games. So Kirby and the Forgotten Land is getting basically an expansion in the form of what's called the Star Crossroads, which is going to be exclusive to the Switch-2 version. And it's not just going to be new levels. It's also going to be like new story content, new context for those levels. So it is essentially a full-on expansion. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are both going to be running at 60 FPS and are going to be have like this companion app through NSO exclusive to the Switch 2 versions called Zelda's Notes, which basically seem like a little like in-universe guide for stuff, which is kind of cute, even if it does feel like basically a Nintendo improved walkthrough. I'm not sure how much of a bonus that is, but I mean that's cute that it includes stuff like that along with the performance boost. So we'll see how that goes. And Mario Party Jamboree is also going to have a host of new mini games to take advantage of the Switch 2 and some of its new hardware features. So it looks like they are just making like expansions for Switch games on the Switch 2, and I absolutely feel like if they're going to do that, then they're probably going to do that with Smash Ultimate because that game is so huge already. That game has so many characters and like probably took years of legal negotiations just to make happen. You probably don't want to like move on from it immediately. So it makes sense to be like, no, we're going to keep that going for a little bit, and we're probably just going to do some new modes, do some modes that like people wanted for Smash Ultimate but never happened, like Break the Target, or I really want Smash Run back. I don't know if they'd bring that back, but do that, do some new characters, and just kind of keep that train going, honestly. So there's that. There's Switch 2 versions of Switch games. That looks cool. And as I alluded to earlier with Kirby Air Ride, we also have GameCube games finally coming to NSO, which is cool, even if I am a little surprised just because I figured between Pikmin 1 and 2 that they put out before Pikmin 4, between that and between Metroid Prime Remastered, I really thought they were just going to keep remastering GameCube games and bringing them to Switch. And it's really surprising to me that they actually did decide to go ahead and do like, no, we're also going to do Switch 2 versions, or we're also going to do GameCube on Switch 2 NSO. Now, this is going to be exclusive to Switch 2, so that's why like seeing some people kind of lose hope that Wind Waker Twilight Princess HD will get ported. I think those will still probably get ported just because they'll do those on the Switch 1 to be like, hey, you might not have like GameCube NSO on Switch 1, but you can also still buy these for probably $60 a pop, and you'll be able to you'll still be able to play Wind Waker and Twilight Princess in some form or fashion on your Switch. I still think they're going to do that, but no, it's surprising that they're jumping already to GameCube NSO. I really thought they weren't going to do that just because it's like, no, we can keep selling you these games, and people have made it very clear that they're still willing to buy those games and those remasters. And honestly, I didn't mind it. I like getting those remasters, especially when they're at the level of a Wind Waker HD or a Metroid Prime Remastered, where they really go in and just kind of like reconfigure the game and bring it up to modern standards, you know, really make those games feel new again. So I would have preferred getting like a few more remasters. I would have preferred to see Metroid Prime 2 get remastered before they did this, but at the same time, it is cool that they are putting these games on NSO and they are giving people who subscribe to that service more bang for their buck. And it seems as if this is just coming to the expansion pass, that they aren't going to be like raising the price or adding it for a tier or anything. This is still just going to be for $50 a year. You're also getting GameCube games. And honestly, if that's the case, that does make that price feel way better. Mostly because, like, I don't know, I've never really felt like the expansion pass is truly worth it, especially when it is just like N64, Game Boy Advance, and a few DLCs that you would otherwise have to buy separately. It's like, that's cool, but it never quite felt like enough, like, I don't know, it never felt like a good enough value proposition. And so it's why I only subscribed to it for like a month or two and just went back to regular NSO, because I'm like, I don't need this. These games, I can get them elsewhere. I can find them on the secondhand market. These DLCs, I can just buy them on their own. That's what I did with the Mario Kart DLC, and I already owned Auto Expansion before the expansion pass even came out, so the only thing I was getting was the Animal Crossing stuff, and I don't play Animal Crossing, so I really didn't need that. So ultimately, it's nice that the expansion pass does have a little more value. I'm still not sure if I'm going to subscribe to it over the regular NSO, but I might like jump back on for like a month or two and just see what it's like. Especially, honestly, if they manage to get Sega to add like Dreamcast games to this, I think that would be more interesting to me. I've been dying for a way to play Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 on Switch. And so if they did like Dreamcast for NSO expansion alongside GameCube, I would actually be much more excited for that. But, you know, story for another day. Best not to get hopes up too high. What else also caught my eye? Ooh, a new Hyrule Warriors coming out, Age of Imprisonment, which is taking place like in the past of Tears of the Kingdom. Honestly, this is exciting to me. This is exciting to me from a story perspective, because I felt Tears of the Kingdom was kind of weak on its story, and it kind of felt like its story was underbaked. There was a lot of little things in there that felt like they should have gotten expanded upon, like Ganondorf and his like Gerudo army in the past that just never did. So seeing more of the past that Zelda was sent to with Rauru, I think I'm saying his name right, and his queen fighting Ganondorf and his Gerudo, I'm really looking forward to that, especially if this is kind of an alternate take on things, like what Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity was. So that'll be fun, but I'm also not sure how excited I am for another Warriors game. I love the Warriors like genre. I love the Muso game style of play. I'm not sure if I really want another Hyrule Warriors though. I wish Nintendo and Koei would expand their horizons a little bit more than just Fire Emblem and Zelda. It's like, give us a Xeno Warriors, give us like, I don't know, like a crazy Mario Warriors or something where you're running around the Mushroom Kingdom beating up dozens of enemies. Just something new in general. Fuck, take like Golden Sun or like some underutilized IP and make a Warriors game out of that and test the waters to bring that series back for a Warriors spinoff. But doing another Zelda is a little bit disappointing, but at the same time, I'm really curious to see what the story's gonna be, so I'll probably pick it up just for that, and hopefully it'll at least run better than Age of Calamity, because the biggest thing that stopped me from playing that game more was the choppy frame rate, and was the fact that it would just crash all the fucking time for me. Like, I really wanted to love that game, but it is straining against the hardware, and thankfully that shouldn't be much of a problem on Switch 2, which honestly, it makes me excited to go back and replay Age of Calamity on Switch 2, because that game was fun, but it ran so poorly on the original Switch that I'm hoping it has some sort of boost on the Switch 2, either just natively through the hardware or through some sort of specific upgrade, such as the Switch 2 edition. Alright, so initially this was just going to be my thoughts on the Switch 2 Direct and the reveal, but some more news came out in the following days, and so I kind of held back to see what was going on, and it turns out things aren't like going to be peachy for the Switch 2 in the US. Very long story short, Trump's tariffs have caused Nintendo to delay the Switch 2, since they have a 46% tariff on Vietnam Day, as in like Trump and his presidency. It looks as if the Switch 2 probably isn't going to be $450 here in America. It's probably going to be even more. It's probably going to be a $550 or even $600, which is fun. And that also means pre-orders are just down for a certain amount of time. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm just going to upload this now, and we're going to see where this goes, because I'm now less excited for the Switch 2 and more just kind of cautiously watching from a side. delayed. Plus, not to mention too, my voice is kind of messed up because I got sick. So yeah, I think I'm going to like cut it off here. A lot of my hype kind of died down for the last few days after all of this. I'm still gonna try to get a Switch 2 for launch, no matter the price, but like, man, this, oh god, this all kind of went to shit. So sorry for that kind of downer ending, but hopefully things like work themselves out eventually. But oh god, be sure to like, subscribe, and crank up the noise. See you later.